미안해.
Everything you need to know about weak hero class 1, Yeon Si-eun, before meeting Suho and Byung-seok. Emotional profile, isolation and intelligence. Si-eun is a loner by choice. He doesn't seek connection because he doesn't believe in the safety of others. His life revolves around studying and survival. Quiet desperation. Beneath his emotionless facade is a deep resentment toward a society that rewards power and neglects justice. His parents are distant. The system has failed him. Unyielding pride. Even when outnumbered, Si-eun refuses to back down. His pride is not arrogance, it's defiance against a world that tries to break people like him. Fighting, style, precision over power. Si-eun uses logic, body mechanics, and tools, like pens, books, shoelaces, to compensate for his lack of strength. Psychological warfare. He studies his opponents beforehand, exploiting their weaknesses. No wasted movement. His fights are efficient, brutal, and strategic, meant to end things quickly. Oh, Byung-seok. Before the fall, Byung-seok truly cared for Suho. Suho's protection gave him a feeling of safety and validation that he had never received from his abusive father. Suho didn't judge him, didn't force him to fight, and gave him a sense of belonging. He admired Suho deeply, almost idolizing him. In Byung-seok's eyes, Suho was everything he wasn't: strong, free, and emotionally stable. Why he turned? Jealousy and insecurity. When Suho and Si-eun grew close, Byung-seok felt replaced. He had finally found someone he could trust. But Suho was drawn to Si-eun's strength and conviction. Byung-seok felt invisible again. Self-hatred. Byung-seok believed he was weak. Watching Suho defend him only reminded him of his powerlessness. Rather than be grateful, he began to resent it. Need for control. Under the manipulation of bullies, like Jeon-seok-dae, Byung-seok tasted the feeling of being feared instead of being the victim. He mistook this for power, the breaking point. Byung-seok betrayed Suho, not out of hatred, but out of a desperate attempt to protect the fragile identity he built for himself. He didn't intend to put Suho in a coma, but the events spiraled beyond his control. Afterward, his guilt was buried beneath justification. He convinced himself that Suho and Si-eun pushed him away. At his core, Byung-seok is a tragic character. His downfall wasn't caused by evil, but by emotional starvation. He longed to be loved, but when he thought he lost it, he chose destruction over abandonment. Ahn Suho, the silent guardian. Emotional profile. Ahn Suho is strength wrapped in simplicity. He doesn't overthink his decisions. When someone is hurt, he protects them. When someone is wronged, he steps in. To him, justice is not philosophical. It is immediate, physical, and personal. Beneath his calm demeanor is deep emotional intuition. He sees through people. That's why he trusted Byung-seok, despite his obvious fears. And why he respected Si-eun's strength, even though Si-eun didn't fight with fists. He carries his own burdens in silence. Suho doesn't talk much about himself. His past is hinted at, possibly troubled, possibly lonely, but he's decided to be better than his circumstances. Relationship with Byung-seok. He cared deeply for Byung-seok, not because Byung-seok was strong, but because he was vulnerable. Suho became the kind of protector he probably wished he'd had when he was younger. He saw the signs, Byung-seok's hesitations, his tendency to hide. But Suho believed that protecting someone enough would eventually help them grow stronger. Suho never judged Byung-seok. That's what made the betrayal so devastating. Even when Byung-seok began to act coldly, Suho did not retaliate. He defended him until the end. Fighting style, raw power, pure instinct. Suho is strong, athletic, and has good instincts. But his fighting is not refined or strategic like Si-eun's. He doesn't fight to win. He fights to protect. His movements are reactive. When someone he cares about is in danger, he becomes ferocious. Body first, mind later. He often takes blows without hesitation if it means protecting others. His endurance is terrifying. He keeps getting up no matter how broken he is. The tragedy. Suho fell into a coma, not because he was weak, but because he was too good, too trusting, too loyal. He stood between Beom-seok and Si-eun when neither could see each other clearly anymore. He believed he could hold everyone together, but he underestimated how far Beom-seok had fallen into his own darkness. His coma became a symbol, the cost of trying to protect a friend who had already chosen to become something else. Yeon Si-eun, from strategist to hardened warrior. Personality change. Season 1. Si-eun was brilliant, emotionally guarded, and fought only when provoked, calculating every move to avoid unnecessary conflict. Season 2. Si-eun is colder, darker, and far more proactive. The trauma of Suho's coma and Beom-seok's betrayal has shattered the last traces of naivete. He no longer avoids fights. He initiates them when necessary. He keeps his new allies close, but doesn't truly let anyone in emotionally. There is guilt in him, over Beom-seok, over Suho, but it sharpens his resolve, rather than breaks him. Key quote: "If I don't act first, people get hurt." He's now a boy who believes justice must be taken, because trusting others once led to betrayal. 2. New allies. Park Hoo-min, Baku, a fighter with unpolished strength. Baku respects Si-eun and grows under his leadership. He's loyal, a bit hot-headed, but believes in their cause. Ko Hyun-tuk, Gotak, strategically sharp and street smart, Gotak balances the group. He helps Si-eun learn to lead rather than just survive. Seo Juntae. Once reluctant, he joins Eunjung's fight, especially after witnessing the cruelty of the Union Gang. He represents the reluctant heart that Si-eun once had. 3. Villains of Season 2. Na Baek-jin, leader of the Union Gang. Tyrannical, manipulative, and brutal. He uses fear to rule the student underground. He's not mindless. He's strategic and understands how to break people emotionally. He serves as a mirror to what Beom-seok could have become fully, someone consumed by control and ego. Beom-seok's absence an echo. Even though Beom-seok does not return physically, his ghost haunts the season. In episode 7, Si-eun imagines talking to Beom-seok in a dreamlike sequence. Si-eun says, "I should have seen it coming. I should have reached for you before you fell." This is the guilt that fuels him. Not that Beom-seok betrayed them, but that he let a friend drown in silence. 5. Suho's awakening. In the final episode, Suho wakes from his coma. Si-eun visits him with his new friends. Suho says, "You're not alone anymore. That's good." And Si-eun finally smiles, not out of relief, but because something finally feels right again. In the end, Weak Hero isn't just about fists and blood. It's about the cost of silence, the pain of betrayal, and the strength it takes to carry on. Like, comment, and subscribe